I'm Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
And welcome to
Two Tree Guys and a Bucket of Beer.
Hey guys, it's Phil Rogacki here, challenging the standard, drinking beer and learning from absolute badasses. I'm joined with my buddy here, and sometimes my friend, I don't know, the world-renowned climbing legend, Jared Abergina. Say hello.
Oh, hey. Right. Yep. I guess that's
But man,
me.
today on the show, we are joined with another badass. I would say probably one of the top social media guys out there. Definitely above Hans, if he's listening right now. But the man, Erick Palacios. Erick, welcome to the show today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, man.
It's been awesome.
Oh,
We've
dude.
been having fun all day. Yeah,
Man,
it's been great.
this guy is one of the most positive influencers. An influencer. You are an influencer
Really?
on social media.
Don't tell me that. That
is a
holds some
title.
responsibility, bro. Like I like knowing, like we were talking about it with Hans. It's like I like knowing that I have no responsibilities. Like
That's
don't
a
tell me
title
people
now.
follow this.
Influencer. And
Wow.
you are an influencer in our industry, man. I'm glad
Okay.
you're on your show. And, this show, we made this show just to get around the table with some awesome people, drink some beer, talk about the industry, talk about life, talk about business and the future and how to take over the world.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So, but before we start every show, we have a sponsor beer that we're going to have a drink and we're going to talk about, on our beer bios. And today I got this cool shirt. No one can see it because Erick couldn't get his camera working.
Here,
and-
we'll show you.
All right.
What is it?
I got this
today?
cool shirt. The Crooked Goat Brewery. Okay, the Crooked Goat Brewery.
This is my favorite.
This one's your favorite? Oh, this is your favorite time of the show?
Yeah,
This is my favorite when I get to drink beer.
So
Awesome. Awesome. No, the Crooked Goat. This is Sebastopol, California. So this company was started by Rich Allen, and I'm not even going to say all these names right, but I'm going to mess them all up. Paul Vilanio something, I don't know. How do you say that? Valencio, I don't know. Yeah. Scott Timon, Will Erickson, Andrew Cook, and Andy Erickson. So these men were encouraged to open up a tap room by friends and family who liked homemade beer and by winning the People's Choice Award in Santa Rosa Bottling Brews event in 2015. The company is the result of 6 friends chipping in on a 10-gallon brewing system that got moved around from garage to garage in Petaluma. The first Indian Pale Ale that was fermented was in Timon's wife's closet. Why the hell was it in the closet? I don't know.
It was in the
With not so satisfying results, he said. Now the brewing system has found a home in Sebastopol. So, cool thing about this brewery, it's right down the street from us.
Nice.
Live music. So tonight they're having live music. Just an awesome brewery.
I didn't know that. Why the hell
Wednesday
are we
night.
not there?
We're gonna go there. They wanted us to come do a live show there at their brewery, but I decided to come here since you've never been here, and we'll have it here. But
Yeah.
no, this brewery. I definitely relate. Let's crack some open.
Yeah,
I definitely relate to what they were building with their 6 friends in the garage. I decided I watched the show Moonshiners, and I decided that I wanted to make my own moonshine one time. So me and my buddy, we bought a still, and we started making our own moonshine in the bedroom. His bedroom, not my bedroom. Not our bedroom, his bedroom.
There's lots of questions that I have about Phil. A lot of them are coming out right now.
No, but we started making moonshine, and I couldn't figure out why he smelled so bad, and his room smelled so bad because he was brewing this shit, and the yeast and all this was soaking his clothes. So I relate to these guys making it. And of course, my dream ended, but theirs kept going here. So, yeah, let's crack open some of these
Dude,
beers.
first
Crack
of
one
all,
open.
like Mom, I'm gonna have a beer with the guys. I know I don't drink. I'm not too much of a beer drinker. Babe, we're working.
He's forced.
We're working. We're forced. Like it's like, yeah, like
You were
Yeah.
drinking a beer at 9 o'clock this morning.
I gotta say, you know,
Damn it, son.
my mom is gonna have my ass. My wife is gonna have my ass because of you guys. So I just want to like blame it on you before like we get going.
All right.
Is that
What do we
okay?
got here? So this is what we got
All
here,
kinds
guys.
of good
Everybody.
stuff in here.
Oh, so there's
Well,
different
wait,
ones.
wait. Hey, I'm
Oh,
gonna
God.
split a beer with somebody. So who opened one? You opened
I
one.
opened
I'll
one.
put that one with you.
Okay, that one's all
Oh,
yours.
your mom-
Oh,
mom-
alter ego. Like
You
no, I
picked-
think
you-
I'm
dude,
taking this one by myself.
You picked it, the hazy pale ale.
This one is
Am
called.
I gonna go to
Hey
sleep
Ma,
after
hey
this
Ma,
one?
look at the size of beer your son's drinking right now.
It's a
I
30,
don't want to put it.
36
size of my
ounce
head.
beer. No, so the funny part is my wife and I, we went down to Crooked Goat in Sebastopol. Here, I'll let you open
Yeah.
it, crack it open. We went down there and we started off with some wine, and then we decided to go to a brewery, and then we ended up going to the Crooked Goat. It's my first time going there and drinking beer. And I told them, I said, you know, we were a little tipsy and stuff. And I was like, hey, we have a podcast show, 2 tree guys and a bucket of beer. Man, we're doing a show. I want to get some beers from you. And the lady was like, oh, podcast. And then all these people go, oh, what podcast? I mean, they thought I was Joe Rogan or something. But when they watch this, they're going to be like, oh, shit, this is definitely not Joe Rogan. And I said, give me 2 of all your beers. And they were like, really? And I'm like, yeah, 2 beers. So how many you got? They're like 9. And I'm like, oh, yeah, give me 2 of everything. And they're like, oh, all right. All of a sudden, 4 people come to these taps. And they take these cans. They're just empty cans. And they start filling up these beers. And then I have a $235 bill with 19 beers. I didn't know these beers were 36 ounces each.
Wow.
So cheers, man.
So,
Welcome on the
awesome.
show.
Thanks for having.
Cheers.
Thanks for having
Cheers.
me out here.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Nice.
Awesome, man. So
So I got to tell you, like, I do feel like a kid, like, I don't know how you say it, like in a candy store or something like that. I was telling you, I was just gonna start telling you before we got on the show how I was on a radio show and I worked at a at a radio station, and part of my internship when I was in college was to work for the local like news channel and stuff like that. I would hold up the board like 10 seconds left for you to talk or whatever. But like, it's way cool to see like your setup here, and like, yeah, I know it takes you guys 15 minutes to get it working, like, or whatever, but
we're getting better. We're getting
you
better.
are. That's what Bob said. I'm glad that like I helped make that record better. We got going, so it was like, let's just go on Facebook. But no, it's very cool to see what you're doing, what you have, your setup, and like, I'm just glad to be here. It's so cool.
Dude.
So thanks, bro.
Man, I'm glad you're here. I really
My
am.
show was like a Joe Rogan show. It's like a conspiracy theory and stuff like that, and it was in Spanish. So like, yeah, you guys might have to do that like later on. There's a lot of
I
conspiracy
thought you said it was
theories.
101, the panda.
The band. It could have very well been like, I'm sure I had like
it wasn't
5 listeners.
Telemundo.
No,
Telemundo. This is Eric. Bring
El
you
Stereo
Telemundo.
Soul.
I think I had a lot more followers like on the radio show when they couldn't see me, my face and shit like that. Like now on Facebook,
I was
like, it's
wondering
like
why we went from
my
like
same old, like my mom and like my aunt and like, hi, my tia, all right, like there wasn't follow me. So
I know last week when we did a show, we had like 100 followers watching it, but now we have like 10. So maybe let me get this off, Eric.
should have been in Spanish so all my aunts could like tune in and be like,
There we go.
my nephew is such a cutie.
All right, man. So no, I am. I'm excited for you being here. You know, I'm probably one of your biggest fans, following you on social media.
Yeah.
And every time you're on there, no matter where you're at, what situation you're in, what job you're on, man, you're out there with the biggest smile on your freaking face. You're in an area of smoky as can be, but you're happy as can be, man. And let me tell you, that attitude wears off on everybody.
Good.
You know, everybody sees that, and they're just they're just excited and happy. You know, how can you get mad or be upset about your life or some situation when Eric's out there in any situation he's laughing and calling out, and you shout out to every single person out there. So I appreciate that, man. It's cool to see all the time.
Oh,
It's just like-
I got a ton of questions about that, man. It's just like, yeah.
Like, why are you so happy or what?
No,
Like,
it's just, there's a lot behind that.
yeah.
Anyway, we get
So, you know, on this show, coming on here is having different people that, you know, from the industry, some people from outside the industry, and things that we do. Like I was telling you in the beginning, it's it's not just about tree work, you know. It's about
Right.
life. It's about friends. It's about business. It's about just drinking beer and laughing,
Yep.
which, you know, the first hour of the show, which half of it wasn't even on the show, we were laughing because of usually at Jared, but this time it was other things. It was at you.
It was
because
me
of
and
your
my old
phone.
school system with Facebook, right?
So, you know, coming on here is hearing your story, man. Hearing your story and hearing how you got in this crazy industry we're in this awesome industry we're in, and hearing about, you know, the ups, the downs, you know, before getting in, after getting in, and, you know, kind of the future of the industry. You know, I know, I mean, you're an artist, you're a practitioner, team building coordinator, coach, consultant. I mean, you've been in the industry for about 16 years now, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know how it happened.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it happened. We were, I mean, are we going into it?
Yeah, go into it,
like,
man.
dude, like we were talking. I think it was you two, and it might have been. I don't want to call her Chardonnay again.
Chardonnay.
Like, yeah,
You call her Chardonnay. It's
Chardonnay.
okay. She's not here.
she's so cool. No, she's cool. We had an awesome conversation.
And for
before
everybody that
coming out
knows,
here.
Charnay is our director of marketing on social media. So she was
Such an
asking-
awesome person. Yeah, we had an awesome conversation for a while. She was asking me some questions, but you know, I think she was on the call when we talked a little bit the other day, getting ready to
Yeah.
come out here and hang out. And we were talking about, you know, some people have a job, right? Like, oh, you have a job, either you like it or you effing hate it, you know, and it's like,
Did you look at
it's my job.
Hans because you think are you feeling that way?
No, I just like, I acknowledge that he was there, and like, it's like,
And we
you know, you can, you know,
we do have
he's
a
on
few
my
guests
camera,
in
so
the
like,
studio.
you know, so like, you know, yeah, I'm acknowledging him. No, but we were talking about like some people have like a job, right? Like it's like, oh, it's my job. It's like,
Yeah.
I like it, I hate it, or whatever. And then some people get to have like their passion, you know, and they turn it into a career, and like, oh, it's my career, you know. And some people have a calling, right? Like this is like, I think it's like Jeff Bezos or like Elon Musk. Someone said something like this, right? They're like,
Without the money.
without the money, right? Like some people have that calling, you know,
Yeah.
and no, you even look at these kind of guys, you know, they work so hard for what they have, you know, and some people like look at them and they're like, yeah, like screw those guys, are like multi-billionaires, but whatever. But they found their calling, right? Like,
Yeah.
again, some people have a job, some people have a career, some people have a calling, right? And I think all of us here, like honestly, and that's why I look at Hans now, but all of us here have a calling, right?
I
And
believe
like
it.
and like your father was in. That's so cool, right? Like I love your story, but like I didn't grow up in it. Like my father wasn't a tree guy. Like I mean, we split wood
Yeah.
since I was like 4 years old, but that doesn't consider you a tree guy. By the way, like if you're like I split wood since I was like 4 years old, like my father, I'm a tree guy. Like no, you're not. Yeah, like so like I split wood since I was like 4 years
No, you're
old. You know,
not.
like I split wood since I was like 4 years old, but I was
Yeah.
like definitely not a
You're
tree
not a
guy.
tree
You know.
guy. You're a wood splitter.
Yeah, I was a wood splitter. Like I didn't want to. Like yeah, we lived out in the ranch. I grew up in like out of a homestead, you know, off the grid. Like you needed to split wood to like not die of
Well,
cold.
that's not a job. That's surviving.
Yeah, surviving like
I mean, you know, Mountain Enterprise, they started off splitting wood.
Absolutely,
Splitting
you know?
wood.
I know Raul personally. You know,
Yeah.
I give him a big shout out. But absolutely, like those dudes found their calling up in the Sierra, right? Like he talks about it. But like I found my calling after I don't know, 18. I was 20 years old maybe when I got into it,
Yeah.
and so like. That's where it was. Like I was doing other things. I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, right? Like I was like into automotive and motorcycles and all that kind of stuff. You know, I was a personal trainer before I got into this. And I was talking to my buddy Guy, you know, that works with us with New Jersey Crane Experts,
Yeah.
and you know, we were talking about it. And we're like, you almost need all that experience to make it here. Like if you made it here, if you're here. Like if you're sitting here or if you're in this industry,
Yeah.
like you probably had all this experience that made you who you are right now. And that's how people find their calling, you know, like we get paid to climb trees. We work outside. Like we're not in an office and you're helping the environment. Like people long for that, right? Like
Yeah.
your being longs for that. So like to end up in an industry like this, like I found my calling, and that's what it was.
And that's where the happiness and smiles come
I
from.
think so, because it's not always like I was just talking to my wife right now, and like me and you were talking about my like truck and like the payment and all that, because we got a grapple truck coming too, you know. Like the grapple truck's not here. You've gone 3 payments already, you know. It's like I'm like, hey, we're getting into the red numbers with this and that. And my wife's like, hey, you're asking me for another $20,000, like $10,000, like she's like, you know, you're like at your limit, you know, and like I think people see the awesome part and the travel part, and like I told you guys before we came out here, I was talking to her, I was like, babe, you know, I'm gonna be a radio show, I can't talk to you for a while, but we're having that conversation. She's like, you got this payment to make, you know, and like, you know, we got this and that, so it's not always like super like, hey, we're still gambling. We're still throwing like all chips in right now, you know? But like you have to love what you do so that like it doesn't feel like, you know, oh, we're going to get a divorce because like they did this and that, you know? Like, no, like.
She's not going to send the Two Tree Guys podcast invoice.
An invoice. Yeah, absolutely. Like.
Eric was on there. We're sending you an invoice right now.
Yeah, we try to do
How
that.
much money? $20,000?
$20,000? What's that? What's that? 3 months of payment? Just so I know.
But you have to be all in what you do, you know, and
absolutely.
and like all these guys that we like maybe not like, you know, like what we just talked about, like the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos, you know, like you hear their story and they're like, I was in a basement, you know, and I had like my last dollar, like, you know, and it's like, it is what it is, and that's what it is.
They went all
respect for all
in.
those guys, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, that takes balls.
Like you've been there, you know, and if we talk about it a little bit, and you'd be like, I've been there, to where like I'm like, all right, this is the company, like this is like it, you know, like.
I think I was in there. I think I was in it yesterday. You know, sometimes it's so funny when I get a check that comes in the mail, I open it up, and this is the only time I actually touch the money. And it's not even the money, the paper. I pull it up, and I'm like, oh, we're still in business. Yeah. And then I hand it to my wife, and that was it. That's all I get to see. And she gets so mad because I rip open every envelope, and I go up there. I'm like, oh man, $1,000, oh $5,000, all that, and then it's all shredded. It looks like a werewolf opened it up. She's so mad at me right now. She's probably listening. I'm sorry, babe.
She's out there. I told you, you know, you guys have like the most expensive kids there is out there. I mean, my kids are kids, but like your kids are expensive. Like they like the good food and all that. But no, yeah, like right, like there's times where you see it and you come in and it goes and it's like.
So how'd you get in this industry?
So
tell me about that first moment, that time where you were like introduced to tree work or splitting logs.
Honestly, like when I got into like actual tree work, I was working at a Ducati dealership. You guys familiar with like the Ducatis motorcycles and stuff like that? And so the company closed down. It was down in Texas by the borders, like low income communities, you know, like only like the drug dealers would buy those bikes and stuff like that. So like it was never like kept afloat, you know, the way it should be. So it closed and I was out of a job, you know, kind of like laid off or whatever. Excuse me. And it was like, okay, well, what do I do? You know, I've been a personal trainer. I've been all of these things, you know, and I was just at a point where like I don't even know if this is like a good career to have, you know, because I was living pretty good. Like I
what age was this?
I want to say I was like 20 some, you know, so I've been in it for 16 years, like, and I'm 38. So I'm not good at math. Like, I'm a tree guy.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. So like 20 some. So when that happened, like a couple of my friends were like working in tree work, you know, and like maybe my cousin was like a groundman or something like that. And they're like, hey, we're working for the utility. Like, come out here. And I'm like, okay, like, let's go out there. You know, they're like, just till you get back on your feet. Like it pays pretty well. You know, you're going to have to travel a little bit. So you're going to have to get away from the missus and stuff like that. And so we're like, okay, whatever. I talked to her. I've always kind of traveled because even when I worked for Ducati, I traveled all across the country. Yeah. And so she's kind of used to me traveling, you know. So I got into it, and like the first week I was there, I was like, "Oh hell no! Like this isn't for me." Like the hard part and everything wasn't hard. Like tree work wasn't hard. Yeah. I got into the utility right away, so I was like, They're like, yeah, those are like 12,000 volt lines. I was like, yeah, you're paying me like $4 an hour, you know, like $5 an hour in tech, 515, 575 or whatever, you know? Yeah. So I was like right away I saw the logical thing, right? I was like, you're paying me $5 an hour to pull brush for like line clearance? Like, F you, you know, like this is very expensive work. I'm a dumbass, but I'm not that dumb, you know, like you're like, all you motherfuckers here are dumb for like working for this guy, you know. I almost
what company were you working for?
Should I even say it? Like,
oh shoot,
like Asplin or something like that, you know. So I started with Asplin, and then I went to like McCoy Tree Surgery, and like I've worked for all the bigger companies.
But who? So you said your cousin got you in?
Yeah.
You put an application in. Yeah. They hired you.
They hired me just like on the
groundsman.
Spot. They were like, do you have like a criminal record? And I was like, yeah, you know. And they were like, as long as you're not a sex offender, you make it in, you know. And like that's how tree work was, you know, like back in the day, you know. I mean, even still now, right? As long as you like.
There was a checkbox, I think, on the application. Are you a sex offender?
My foreman had done like time for like breaking into a bank, and he'd done like 15 years or something like that. And it was like, if someone like that could get in.
Cool, you're hired.
Yeah, you're hired. Like you're fine.
You're just a thief.
You're not gonna rob.
Yeah, you're just a thief.
Way better.
You
Way
just
better.
rob people. You rob banks and gunpoint. No, we're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
I gotta tell you, like one of the most hardworking guys I've ever met. Right, like he probably never wanted to go back to prison. Right, like that was probably his motivation factor. But that's where it all started. You know, like it all.
Where was that
there.
moment to where you were like, aha, this is it?
I think like after a while where I was like, I got into it and they were like, look, like you can actually make money here, but you got to be the climber. You got to be the bucket operator. And I was like, fuck, dude, like for $5 an hour, you want me to get up that tree near the power lines? Like, come on, man.
I mean, when did you say, fuck this, this is my calling, this is it?
I think after a while when like my foreman's like you get to know people like so intimately, you know, and this like you traveled everywhere. Like I stayed there all week and only went home on the weekends, you know. Sometimes I would only go home every 2 weeks. And so you live with these people, man. Like you're staying at the same hotel, at the same apartment, whatever. So like, dude, my foreman had worked for Asplin for 30 years, bro. And he had nothing, like absolutely nothing to show for it, you know? Probably part of it was part of his fault, right? But like when you see someone, you take advantage of someone like that as a company, like I was like, no fucking way. Like, no way. And I at one point I grabbed I found a book under the seat of the truck, and I'm like, hey Juan, like, this is like, you told me there was no rules to this game, bro. Like, what the hell? You lied to me. This is like a book of rules. Yeah. like, and you're breaking every single one of them.
The title was Book of Rules.
I know it was like the manual, right?
Yeah,
like a standard operating procedure manual.
But when you grabbed that manual, what were you thinking?
I was like, this guy has been exposing himself and making the company millions, like at his life. Like he's been risking his life to make this person millions, you know, and this person never took the time to teach this guy like the right way to do it. Right. And he didn't even.
That's what was going through your head.
That was what's going through my head. And I was like, this guy has no retirement fund. This guy has this guy has nothing. Right. He doesn't have an awesome house that he's built. He doesn't have like
30 years.
Like whatever, like a decent truck. Right. Like his truck was all falling apart, bro. Like, you know, we couldn't even stop and eat like at Whataburger or something like that. You know, he brought like tuna every day, you know, and it was like I sat there and I was just like sad, you know, like sad that in this country, in this age still, like whatever that was, like where that like someone was being taken advantage in the system, like in an unregulated industry. Like, look, I've been in it 16 years. It's still not regulated. Right. Like, I almost foresaw that. I'm like, if it's not regulated now, like, what's it going to make it regulated in 15 years? Yeah. Like, so I needed to take charge for the people, for everybody that I work with spoke Spanish. No one spoke English. The reason that they didn't understand the manual was because it was in English. No one took the time to teach them. You know, there was no brown boys like us to teach them or anything like that, you know? And so it was like very, very sad for me, you know? Yeah. And I remember calling my wife and being like, I know I'm not going to make enough money here, but I think this is my calling. And she was like, just get home, get a better paid job. Like, we need money. We got a kid on the way. We got this and that. And so it just like from there, I think I've been fighting the universe, because that's what you do with your calling, right? Like, you have to fight the universe because everyone tells you you're stupid. Everyone tells you don't get paid enough. Everyone tells you that, like, you know, like you're like a tree hugger or whatever, like this and that. And so that was the point when I was like, I have to do something about it. So what did I do? I learned to be a climber. I learned to be a bucket operator. I learned to do everything there was in the industry so that I could teach someone the proper way to do it.
Let me back up some on that.
Sure.
Identifying your calling, knowing your calling. You know, people that are out there, I mean, there's probably guys that have been in this industry for 25 years, been in other industries for a long time, 60-year-olds, 70-years-old. How do you know or feel when you go, this is it. This is my calling. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is it. This is it. Because I remember that time when it came to me.
Yeah.
And it was a special moment.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
I could tell you a little bit about it,
Yeah.
but I just remember when I was at a table with Jeremy Tibbetts, and we were sitting there, and I told him, I said, "This is it, dude. Like, the industry, what we were building, what we were doing." I said, "This is it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life." And it was a switch in me. I was about 31 years old or so, and it just clicked where I knew, so I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And it was something inside of me that just felt good. It felt normal. It felt, this is what I was supposed to do. I felt almost at peace. Like, this is it. It doesn't matter about money. Doesn't matter about anything. It just matters that I felt good at what decision I made.
Hey, listen, people know. People know. You know what the fuck you need to do. Like, the hard part is doing it, right? Like, so most people are comfortable where they're at, right? Like, oh no, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to gamble my money. I don't have to have uncomfortable conversations with my wife, or like, hey, you're spending all this money and where's it coming in? And like, people would rather not have that. Like, you know how uncomfortable it was to get on here, like, before, like, talk to my wife, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having, like, you know, like, people do not want to have those uncomfortable moments, uncomfortable conversations. They don't want to have to work for it, you know? So it's way easier to flip a fucking burger, right? It's way easier to do a shitty office job because it pays and because your family's okay. But like I just could not just die inside, you know? Like I could not. I was like, you know what? And my wife always tells me, you know, because I'm always like, if it costs me my family, if it costs me my, like, if it costs me my friends, if it costs me whatever it costs me, like, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Because if I've got to give you money for my kids, or if I got to provide for, like, whatever, like, I better enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
And I better be giving something back, because I don't give back enough, you know, like, I don't go to church enough. I'm not a good person. Like, how is my way of giving back to what I do? Well, I want to teach people. I want to have them not go through like what I had to go through, you know. I want my kids to maybe when they grow up and they're like, yeah, dad wasn't home a lot, you know, but he did it for this reason, and they take that value from it, you know. And sometimes other people say, like, you know, and they see that I helped other people, you know, and some people are like, well, yeah, but those other people aren't going to take care of you when you're like old. Like, my kids might not either, you know. Like, so hopefully they take that value and they can make something of themselves.
You're nailing it, man. And this is part of leaving a legacy. I know we're jumping really soon into this, but, you know, I live a very similar life.
You do?
In 21 years of being married, or being with my wife and going through this, you know, everything that you're talking about. Yeah. It's about leaving a legacy, man. And it's not money. It's not anything more than giving back to of something that you really believe in.
Absolutely.
Right? And the money will come, and things will come, and everything will be okay. Right? But believing in something so much that you're willing to sacrifice everything that you have for it because you believe in it. And you can see that you make connections. And you see that people strive and they they thrive,
Yeah.
right? And they want more, and you bring the passion to them, right? And that is worth gold.
Yeah.
It's gold, and it's way more than any dollar amount somebody could throw your way. But at times, we have to make a living, and then that comes. I get knocked for that a lot, but what you're saying speaks really, straight to my soul, because it is, man. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And this work as trainers or ambassadors of our industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
All right.
And like you were saying, like it was like, sometimes you have to charge money and this and that. But tell me how many times you have told people no to money. Like I've told people no. And people are
Absolutely.
like, "Are you kidding me? Like you're gonna make $100,000?" And I told that person no, but it was like, because it's not about the money. I mean, it is sometimes because you have to pay bills, but it's not about like making the money like that.
It'll
like,
come.
I want like
It'll come.
And all the great companies, and like you look at someone like Apple, like their status quo is like we're gonna challenge.
Speaking of
status quo.
Apple, make sure you get an Apple phone for the next podcast,
like
so
Apple, like,
so it's
still
not
sucks, like-
fucked up like
like-
last time. Please, thank you, Droid.
No, actually, like they're better, but like Apple just has better marketing. Because who doesn't want to walk around with an Apple phone and say
oh my
like that you're
God.
like?
I will
Apple
still
phone.
walk around with Apple everything. So I'm sorry.
Whatever.
You're sitting at a really bad table here.
man.
Just
Yeah, like
saying.
everybody, like I mean, honestly, if you want to give me an Apple phone, like
man.
I'll take it, because I'm like the husky and like
You
steel
may,
guy. Like,
you
I
may
don't
get a
care,
free
like,
one at the end of the night.
yeah.
That's how bad
Our
we
next
feel.
sponsor is Apple, and I'm gonna get a phone. Like, I'm like a chainsaw guy. Like the guy that working the phone like should be worth something, right? Like working
You're the guy-
chainsaw. We're on Facebook. It's working.
Yeah,
Yay!
you're the guy at the trade show that takes all the free gifts everywhere, all the T-shirts.
I used to be, because I would bring them back to the guys.
They like those.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Like people love that kind of stuff. Like I mean, I was a guy at the trade show taking all the heads. Like, you
So let me
guys
get
had
in this.
shitty ones all the time.
You got a shirt? You got
Yeah,
four?
we got shirts.
You got a hat?
Can I have that stack?
No, well, I was.
I got a crew of
What
10.
do you have behind the table there, huh?
You gave me a hat earlier.
I know
'cause
you already
asked
took
you
two
for it,
hats
that
from
was-
me, and you've been here for like 30 minutes before the show. You're like, "Hey, can I? Is this your hat?" I'm like,
Well,
"Yeah." You're like,
I
"Oh, let me
wanted
put
to
it on."
wear a hat
And
so
you
that,
go,
like,
"Oh,
I
it's
can-
kind of big. Do you have another one?" I'm like, "Shit, he's gonna get two hats. Is that for somebody
Well, no,
else?"
like I didn't take that other one. I was just gonna wear it for the show, so that
I'm like,
I could.
did I
wear
give you
like
one
a
last
hat.
time you came here? You're like, yeah, you did.
You gave me. Okay,
Oh, here we go.
Let me explain
We
myself
got
now,
him.
like,
We
yeah.
got him. We got
He
him.
took like 4 hats from us from everywhere already. This ain't a trade show, Eric. Okay.
All right, hey
Four
family,
hats.
get
I'm bringing
get
it to the
online.
guys.
All the kids, the
Yeah.
wives, they all
Yeah.
got the hats.
4 hats I did not take
Oh my
because you're
gosh.
kind of cheap ass sometimes on those kind of things. Like you're like okay.
Oh my
I didn't want to expose you, but since you brought
Well,
it
I
up,
only become the cheap ass after the third
After
hat
the
you
fourth
took.
hat, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey,
I'm
listen.
like, hey man, they're $20, bro. Like,
Gosh,
the
man.
first one's for coming to the class. Like the second, no, look, listen. What happens with a lot of the
man.
stuff
It's
that
so
I
great.
get, like someone else gets it,
Man,
Yeah.
this-
and I try not to wear it too many times before I'm giving someone like a sweaty hat, right? Like
Not
Jared.
too many times.
So like just a couple times. some
That's
pictures
why
and
you
stuff like
examined
that,
my
you know?
hat. You were
Did
like,
I gave
how
you
many
use
times
something
did he
else.
wear it?
No, your hat was like so big and it was like worn out and like sweaty.
Yeah, you
but
know
like
they
I
say
usually
big
give
head.
it to someone else, and I'm like, hey, like you
That's
gotta
good, Pat.
promote the people and you gotta like help,
Share the
your
love.
partners and like like
Yeah.
trade show, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like I didn't get hats and like keep a collection of it. Like
Yeah.
everything I got was to give to someone else because it goes back to like the first foreman that I had. Like the guy didn't have shit.
What was his name?
His name was Juan Flores.
Juan Flores. Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. I talk
Is
to
he
him all
still-
the time, and he's so proud of what I do now. He's like my uncle, right? He's always like, I follow you on Facebook. I love that you were in Canada last week, that you're going to do this and that.
That one guy, I mean, he changed your life.
He's my mentor. Like
He
I
changed
could
your
sit
life.
here and be like, yeah, Mark Chisholm was like my mentor. Or like I love Mark, but like the real people that are our mentors
Juan Flores.
is like those people that never get recognized.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's it.
And think of that. Juan Flores doesn't even know. It can't even see the fruits of his labor. With taking you, inspiring you, giving you the manual that you needed, or at least directing you towards the right manual, right? And for you to go, this is what I want to do. And he inspired you. He taught you probably a lot of shit, right, over the years. Then you were able to take that and think how many other people you touched. That's Juan Flores touched all those people because he connected the one person.
Absolutely. And I make sure he knows that.
This is the theme of the show, that when we have people on here is, man, touching someone's life, giving back, giving to that person, because you don't know that one person that comes in your life and you say those one words. And I mean, there's people on here right now that are talking that are like, that hits home right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these words that you're saying right now touches somebody, and you don't know what life you can change because of the words you're saying right now, because of a guy named Juan Flores who gave back to somebody. Gave back to some kid who came in here that didn't know jack shit, that was all buff, driving a Ducati motorcycle, coming in, and he decided to take the time to teach you, and now you're inspiring the entire world in the industry. That's freaking cool. Juan Flores, you're listening to this? Thank you, sir.
Somebody knows him here. Juan Flores from MTS?
No.
Is there a few Juan Flores out?
Yeah, there's like a million
Juan
Juan Flores. Hey, listen, like, no, he worked for McCoy Tree Service. McCoy Tree Service is still an awesome outfit out of Norman, Oklahoma. They got they got a few people on the ANSI board right now. I forget her last name, Pacheco. Big shout out to them. But no, like he works for he works for McCoy Tree Service out of Norman, Oklahoma, and they're in Texas. So like,
they got an Instagram, they got a Facebook, McCoy Tree Service.
I'm sure like McCoy
follow them,
has
guys.
them.
If you're on there, follow them and start giving some shout outs on there that you heard them on a podcast,
Yeah.
man. They loved hearing that. Mr. Juan Flores, appreciate you, man. So Juan Flores is teaching you. You're getting in the industry. You found your calling. You found your passion. Then what? What's the next steps in your career that you're making?
Dude, like I had to make, like, I think right away they're like, oh, you speak English? Come over here. You're like, we're going to make you supervisor. I'm like, wait, like, I don't even know anything yet. I'm like,
oh, man.
This goes back to saying no to money, right? Sometimes too, like it is about money, but like I couldn't let that greed kind of take over, I'm like, oh, I can be a supervisor right away. Like I didn't want to be that fucking dumbass that everybody's laughing at, like, and it happens in the industry a lot with a lot of people out there. Like you're like the safety guy and you're like the dumbest motherfucker on there,
Yeah.
Like you've never cut a tree, like you just have these degrees and like, or you just had like this certification and you're like the safety guy, but like you can't teach anything. I didn't want to be that guy. Because that's what we had, at Asplin, It was like some fucking dude, that when I told them like, hey, I'm going to take my arborist exam, they're like, good luck passing it. It took me like 3 or 4 times to pass it. So like, you're a dumbass. So it's going to take you more than that. Right. Like I didn't have someone like that, Well, your case is different and it's okay with that. But no, like
I got a syndrome.
But it was one of those things. So like I had to fight against that to be like, for society, for people to be like, just take it. Like they're gonna pay you more. Like, are you a dumbass? Like no. Like I want to do things right. Like.
But what made you want to do things right? I mean, what?
It's your
back
values,
to that manual?
bro. It's like it's your values. Like
So
if you don't have that as a value, if you don't have like trying to be a good person.
So what are your values? I mean, that's a good one. So like values. Let's, don't tell me what. Don't tell me what.
So tell us about your values because here's one of the things that we talked about, or that we were talking to you before this, was something we don't know about you, and you mentioned that you shouldn't have been alive today. You grew up with a rough background.
I like growing up in a bad neighborhood and stuff like that. All of my cousins were like drug dealers and shit like that, or they cross people over the border, and stuff like that. So like for me,
much more intense.
So for me, like I got hurt working in the field. Like I used to pick like onion and shit like that, and I was working in a warehouse, and long story short, like 18-wheelers come in, they're full of onion, and they have like a PVC pipe, right? They're like, it's like about this big, and you connect like a sock to that PVC pipe, and it blows like hot air through it so it can like dry out the onion. So I'm going to connect that to the back of the 18-wheeler, and the guy fucking puts it in reverse and pins me to the wall and fucking crushes like all my whatever's in here, my clavicle and like all my shoulder. Like my arm was fucked. Like you could probably still see the scars. I have like, you know, rods and gold, and like it's like dry skin because it never healed properly. But they wanted to cut my arm off because like all of that was gone. And so here's a 20-some-year-old kid, you know, with a baby boy, brand new baby boy, like living in a shack, right, with my wife that like I didn't take her to anything good. And so I was about to die, you know, pretty much, you know. And so like not only did I survive that, like my arm works, you know, like because they wanted to cut that thing off.
And then you climb trees.
And then I climb trees, right? So like
Wow.
that is one of those things that you're like, okay, like I shouldn't even be here, first of all. Like I'm so fortunate to see my kids.
Yeah.
Like, thank God. I'm fortunate to see my kids grow up. You know,
How many kids do you have?
I have 4 kids. I have a 19-year-old.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I started a little early. Whatever. You know, like that kid's so smart. We're talking about your kid
No,
being
yeah.
so smart and everything. It's so cool to see him get a scholarship, right? My kid got a scholarship to Kentucky State University for medicine. He's studying
awesome.
medicine
Awesome.
right now. I don't have to pay for the university, which is great. And my other kids, I have one in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I have another 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. All boys. The smallest one is a little girl. So,
Oh, man.
I'm just like being here and being like with the kids and being here with you guys and doing what we're doing now. It's
Super
like,
blessed.
you know, like, yeah, super blessed. It's a miracle. You know, I believe in God. I don't know, whatever, like everyone else, whatever you believe in is cool. But like, I'm just so fortunate to be here. Like, yeah, you know, we used to drink a couple brewskis. We do our thing. But like, that's what you were saying. Like, what are your values? Like, well, you know, you have to do the right thing when no one's watching, right? And like that's what my father, he was in the military, that's what he always taught me. He's like, you do good everywhere you go. Like if you fucking, like if you're a janitor, be the best motherfucking janitor there is out there, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know,
You're a janitor?
yeah, like absolutely. Like I've done everything there is to be out there, you know? And when you do that, like you create those values, right? Like you put them into practice, you know? And so once you do, like it's a lifelong journey, right? Like you don't stop. Like, so I always tell people in our classes, right, Hans, we're like, if you're fucking doing it at home, you're doing it at work, you know?
Right.
If you're doing it at work,
Living
you're doing
it.
it at home, you know? And
Yeah.
like my wife can attest, like I'm not the best guy out there. Like, you know, I'm not going to come up here and like lie to your audience or to
We all have
anyone.
failures, man. Nobody's perfect, right?
No, but it's like you making sure you're trying your best every day, bro. Like regardless of what like anyone else is
100.
doing or anything like that. So
Cheers to that, man.
Yeah,
Cheers
absolutely.
to that. You know, I mean, it's your dad. What's your dad's name?
my dad's name is Claudio, like Claudio Gonzalez.
I mean, these are the influences in your life. You know,
Absolutely.
the people that direct you in where you're going to go. People you don't even know that come your way. You know, Juan Flores,
Yeah.
your dad, the things they instill in you get you to where you're at today.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, it's so encouraging when I hear these kind of things, because there's so many people out there that are sometimes just bad people and jerks and assholes.
I've never met my real dad.
Uh-huh.
My father, Claudio, he's my stepdad.
Yeah.
But I don't know anyone else,
Yeah.
right? Like
He's your dad.
he's my dad,
Yeah.
right? Like, at one point, I think this, like, it has a lot to do with, like, everything you do, guys. So, like, understand where you come from, what hurts you, what's damaged you throughout. Like, when I was a kid, I felt like shit not knowing my real dad. Like, you know, like, I met your dad. Like, he's such a fucking cool cat, right? Like, I love your dad, Hans. You know, and so, like, for me, like, I think it affected me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking sit up here and be like, oh, like, having a dad didn't affect me. Like, it affected me, you know? Like, now it doesn't. Like, now I feel awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't have gotten a better dude to take care of me, you know? Like, my father, like, he don't fucking do the Facebook thing. Like, my mom will probably tell him like, oh, your son was on the radio or whatever. but like honestly, like having someone who's not your real dad take care of you,
Yeah.
like it's like fuck, like you know,
Mm-hmm.
like so that was like, how can I not be a good dude? Like when this dude that's not even my dad take care of me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like it cannot happen, you know. And so like, yeah, he's my dad.
So you're in the industry, you're learning, you're growing. You're still working with Asplin at this time? Or did you
I
start?
might have
Did
been.
you left?
Can I take a little break?
Yeah.
Can you guys go real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about you as you're
that's
gone.
good.
Yeah. Usually we give diapers to the people
this'll
that
be
are
fun.
drinking
This'll
all
be
the
fun.
beer.
Here we
so
go.
they can, are you gonna follow him to the bathroom? Oh, he's gonna come over and be on the show.
All right, here we go.
All right, Jared. All right. This is
Welcome. My name's Erick.
You know, it's
Palacios.
funny because the funny part
that.
about this is they switch seats, but yet I still feel like I'm talking to the same person.
And you know,
Eric and Jared are like twins.
you just went too far. Too far.
No
Phil.
one get it. You didn't get it when I said you get.
You're
It's
lucky
like
that
me
I'm
talking to
sitting
the
over
same
here.
person.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
Anyway,
So
I'm
that's where on the
actually
show they take a
Facebook
little
with,
break.
All Erick's peeps here. Hey y'all, my name's Jared.
That's the only.
Don't hate me.
Okay.
No, I think it's a really cool. I think Erick has a really cool story, man. I think I could relate a lot to a passion, a calling, you know. And I think a lot of guys out there do have this passion, this calling for what they do, and you know, it's hard to accept it. It's really hard to accept because it's such a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, and it's such hard work, and it's such a commitment, such a grind, and it's, you know, it sucks more times than it's good, you know, but it's something that always pulls you back in, and it drives you back in.
Dude, I thought
you know?
I thought I was out.
Yeah.
And right when I thought I was out.
Oh,
it sucked
hey,
me back
Eric.
in.
Okay, I'll let you back in. All right, we're back.
Yeah, most brown people look the same. So like, yeah.
Oh, I just said that. I said.
man.
I just
Did you
said.
just say that?
I just said. You know, the funny thing is, you switch seats, but yet I still feel like I'm talking to the same person. But he didn't get it. He went. So I'm a little nervous about
I
his
need to
crane
go to the
test tomorrow
restroom, and
because of
then
that.
not only did I need to go to the restroom, talking about my dad always gives me a little teary eye. You know, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But
That's
no,
good.
like somebody has compared me to Jared, and I'm like, fuck yeah!
Dude.
Like I'm always like
Dude,
taking
I
credit
hear
for
that
that,
all the
right? I'm
time.
like, dude, like really, you think I look like him? Like I wish I just worked as good as him too, you know? Like, but no, I take it. Tyler always fucking brings
Oh,
that
man.
up too.
Buddy.
He calls
No.
us twinsies.
You guys do look like twins.
I
Shoot.
shaved last night.
What do you guys think?
But if I
on
would have
the-
known
on the
that you
call?
had the beard, I would have left it so that like they could see the resemblance. A little bit more.
Yeah. Too scared to shave.
Oh man. So, all right, let's talk about your career now. Getting in tree work, climbing. Talk about some of your first time climbing, removing trees, getting more in depth in this industry.
Dude, like sitting on top of that tree, getting a view that only like the bird that stands up there gets. It's like, I don't get how people go up there and do like they hack shit, or they're like they lie still, like they do like a job. Like people are always like, how fast do you do things? You know, I mean, you're such a great competition climber, and like you differ from everyone else. I love your style, but a lot of these competition climbers are like so fast, and I've
Yeah.
seen them work, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, I charge for my professionalism for what I do. Like I started a business in like the lowest income community there was in Texas, right? Like, and I went to the richest people in that community and said, you need to pay this for tree work. And they were like, no way. Like we live in the lowest income community in Texas. Like, why would I give you $500 when I can give this guy $100? And I was like, cause you need the best.
Yeah.
Right, like,
Yeah.
like you pay for your fucking kids to go to college, to the best college. You want the best car. You want the best, most beautiful house. Like, you should pay the best arborist, you know? And I created this movement, like, at least in my community. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even talking, like, the arboriculture movement has been going on forever. Like, your dad's been part of it, right? But, like, I created this movement in my community that if if you were gonna get tree work done, you had to get it from the best person out there, you know, and that's what my pitch was, you know, to these rich people that were like, you know, you're the 10th bid. I'm like, well, good luck, man. Like, I don't even want you to be my customer at that point, you know, like you claim to be rich, but you're like a cheap ass, right? And so like I played that psychology forever. I'm like, you think you're rich? Like you bought a Porsche? Like then you need to hire me. You know, they're like, no, well, we can pay you this. Like, well, good luck. Like, good luck with your trees. Yeah. You know, like this is the value of your home.
You'll call me eventually.
Yeah.
This is the value of your home, right? Like when your trees die and like someone has to remove them, your tree's like worth $20,000 that day.
It's more valuable than their home. Because I always tell people, I said, I can tear down your house and your building right here, and we'll build another one in 6 months. That tree, you ain't getting it back. Ever. You'll be dead by the time that tree grows back.
I think I've ever used that
30, 50, 100 years. You know?
That's it. It's gone.
That was my play. I was like, you know, I was like, you're not rich. You're a cheap ass. Like, you want I'm like, I don't want you as my client. And people are so funny with marketing. We were talking about it a little bit and like how you promote yourself. And me telling people that I didn't want them as a client made them my clients. Yeah. Bro, like there's something about telling someone you can't do something or you can't have me that like they want it.
Oh, man.
You know?
Yeah.
In the marketing part, you know, I was reading a book on it, and one of the sayings is when you have customers that say, hey, listen, I found someone cheaper. You know, I'm going to go with them. Like, great. I have clients that pay more than you. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah. So that's where like all that went, you know?
Yeah. Speaking the truth, man, I have, I'm a huge, you know, advocate of just speaking knowledge to my clients and educating them. Right. And it's just like, give them what's right and let them make that decision. Right.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they come in and, you know, I'll walk through you know, not even a client yet. Right. We're just walking through the property and I give them a bunch of advice. I'm like, you're good. Call me next year. We'll do another walkthrough, but you're probably good for about 3 years. And then, you know, hope to gain your work then. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, no. Well, I have to do something.
Yeah.
I have to prune. I have to cut something. I'm like, well, you don't have to do anything. You know, your trees are fine. You know, they're good. Call me next year. I'll do this every year, every 6 months, and I'll come evaluate your property for you and your trees and make sure everything's good. Yeah. But I don't want to touch your trees because they don't need it. Now, if you really want something done, you know, I could waste your money for you, but it's not the right thing for your trees. And you hired me to be on the side of your trees.
Is it wrong that I want you to do my trees now? Like,
you want Jared to do your trees?
Can you come do my trees?
Can you go do Texas?
Well, that's
no. I have a place in Paradise.
Oh,
the tree house. Like, it's got a shit ton of trees.
You got a tree house?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I have a house in Paradise, and it's surrounded by trees in the middle of like in the middle of Paradise.
That's right. Trees. I remember when you invited me over for dinner, and your wife was cooking a home cooked meal. I remember that. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't. You didn't invite me.
Always welcome.
Oh, one of those sayings. Oh, you're always welcome, but I've never invited you.
Well, let's make this official.
Maybe if I give you another hat, you'll invite me. How many more hats does it take to have dinner at your house?
Maybe it's a sweatshirt. I think the sweatshirt.
A sweatshirt?
The sweatshirt's
a coat? Oh my God.
Or maybe a vest. I don't know. I mean,
I was gonna work for the show, but you know.
Oh my gosh. So let's go in where you're at now, man. Let's talk about where you're at now. What are you doing for the industry? What are you doing for yourself, your family? Where are you working? Where are you at now?
Dude, so this is another thing we were talking about, right? Like we're not competition, you know. We do a lot of the same things. Like I love being here with people that have the same passion and the same strive, and we're doing the same thing. So I'm doing the same thing. Like we're teaching people. We're talking about it. We're like saving lives. We don't know how many lives we're saving. Like, hey, you could probably tell me how many people died last week. Absolutely. Like we got a record. We know how many people died last year in the last couple of years. We do not know how many lives you're saving. That's crazy, right? You don't. So for me right now, we just keep doing training, like private trainings. Like if you have a company, we come in, we help you from not only like the standpoint of training, right? Because this is what we've done forever. Like you, Jared, like you guys have done this for a while now. Like we come in, we're like, we need to do aerial rescue, you know? And I get to some companies and I'm like, you need fucking management training, you know? Like forget about aerial rescue right now, but like, you don't even know how to run a fucking company. Mm-hmm. It's like, what do you mean? You know, people have told me like, I'm paying you right now. I'm like, you're paying me to tell you an unbiased truth, and you fucking suck at running your company. Mm-hmm. And you're taking advantage of people, and you're putting them in situations that could get someone killed. And all this money that you think you're making, you're going to lose when you get sued and when someone dies, right? Mm-hmm. And people have told me like, and I've told people like, if you don't let me start with your management, like, you know how I was telling you consulting and coaching and all that, like, then we can't do your aerial rescue and none of that shit. Like, go fucking find someone that does that. Go find one of those training companies that all they care is about giving you aerial rescue training and that's it. But they don't come in here and they fucking tell you that you suck, right? Like, and so for us, like, it's like when we come in, we're like, hey, bro, like, listen, I'm trying to help you out, right? Like, you can use your money for good, or you can be a stubborn dumbass and be like, I'm doing the right thing and I'm going. So right now, we're going in, we're helping companies do that, change their perspective.
So when you say we, who's we?
Me and a couple other trainers, you know, and then I have a lot of partners. Like, we partner up with New Jersey Crane Expert. We're like Hans. Like,
so you're a consultant working with a large network.
Well, absolutely, and also too, you know, when he says we, I mean, you got an academy hat on, and you're coming in December.
Yo, you're charging me for all of them. I said, like, I don't know. Like,
I'm just taking it off the invoice you're going to send me in December. You don't even know it. That's why.
That's right.
They're $100 hats. You're
welcome.
welcome.
Know, we used to do that at Ducati. We used to do that at Ducati. We used to tell you that you're getting a free helmet and a free jacket. And, like, it was just, like, the price of the bike. So I get it. It's okay.
Well, listen, guys. December, man. You're coming in December.
Right?
And it's going to be absolutely amazing. You know, this is going to be one of the first time we've ever had something like this before. And it's going to be an overnight camping trip with Erick Palacios.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome out here, man.
It's going to be, I'm just, you don't even have to tell me what you're teaching. I'm excited. Don't even tell me. Let it be a surprise for the people because.
Hans said I could talk about sharpening pencils if people would come through. You
know
like
what? This is my expectation. And for you to come out here, I don't want to hear about your everyday training.
I don't want to hear about aerial rescue.
Or what you've done. I don't want to hear about the
trainings
you've done for the past 16 years. I want to hear about something new you're going to bring this industry and frickin' open people's eyes and be like, you know what? Yeah. I've been doing the same thing for X amount of years. Today, I'm going to do something new. Check this shit out. Yeah. I'm going to give you 8 hours of new explosive material in every which way and manner. And just bring it. Yeah. You know,
no pressure from fucking Jared, right?
Well, you know what? You know what it is. I've been training for a little while. You know, not even close to what my mentors and other people have been.
And you see, he was pointing to me when he said mentors.
Oh my gosh, that's a very fall.
I saw you guys taking pictures earlier.
You know, but the times that I get to be free like this is times that I really feel. Are like you make the biggest movement in your career, or it's for you, man. It's not for them. It's for you to be like, you know what? I don't have a format. I don't have to cert anybody. I don't have to do this for you. I'm doing this for me. I'm coming in. I'm gonna give you my life. I'm gonna tell you my story, and I'm gonna do some cool shit. Why? Because I like it, and I get to do it because it's cool for me. And you guys just have to sit there and be entertained because it's just me being me, right? And it's not too many times we get to do that as trainers because we're always following guidelines and structures to give to our people. And this is an opportunity to say, you know what? I don't have to give anymore right now.
That's awesome.
Today, I get to just.
Dude, I'm so fortunate to get that opportunity.
It's a weekend with Erick, man. Dude, I'm already thinking of it all. It's going to be in December. It's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be at the academy. They're going to come in. Housing's taken care of. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going to have the most amazing meal cooked by Moa here.
I follow your cooking on the Facebook. I know you cook
awesome
good.
Food, campfire. It's going to be an all-night event from freaking 7 in the morning to freaking 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We're going to stay up all night, wake up in the morning. We're going to have a little motivation, a little ending, a great breakfast in the morning, and then everybody's going to be able to drive home on Sunday. So
I can't even tell you, like, how awesome that is and, like, how thankful I am for you guys to do this. And like, listen, like, if one motherfucker went home like with something that night, like everyone here on this table is going to be super successful. And that's what you were talking about. You know, there's people in your life, you know, like I kind of hate getting this. Like, I kind of hate when someone calls me and they're like, dude, you changed my life. I'm like, fuck. You know, like
You changed my life.
Like,
I need
really?
you to. I
Like,
need you to bail me out.
yeah, like I hope I get the call. Well, even when you do, but like when something like that happens, like to get that, like, dude, like, and I know we're gonna have some people in that class.
I get excited
that it's gonna
all the
be
time
like,
when I see you on
you know
there,
what,
man.
like, thanks for putting that
Yeah.
on, you know,
Yeah.
like, and it's not gonna be just me, like, because there's you, there's so many people behind the scenes, like we got Bob back there running the show
Bob.
right here, like Bob, big shout out
You
to
know-
Bob. You know,
That's
it's
why
like,
we call it bucket of beer. Bucket of beer, Bob.
no,
Two tree
bullshit.
guys and
Like,
Bob.
really, Bob, is that true,
Dude.
or are they just talking shit now?
Bob
Yeah, he's just talking shit.
2, 3 guys
chimed in, he's
and a
like,
Bob.
and a Bob.
And a Bob. No, honestly, but isn't that true? Like all these people that
Yeah.
play the pro, like look at how much Jordan does for us, right? For us to be training and
Yeah.
teaching people, and everybody's like, Hans, I love you, but it's like, no, you should love Jordan just as much because she makes like half
Yeah.
of his life easier.
No,
Like big
it's
shout
for-
out to
it-
Jordan, we love
It's
you.
for real.
I'm sorry that the basement is flooded, but he's not gonna stay here much longer than he needs to, so he can take care of that.
Yeah, you know, being a trainer is not as you know, is I guess cooped up as what people think it is. You know, and like I said, it comes back to sacrifice. And people think it's all the fame and the glory, and you get all the good, and you know, you get a lot of the bad too. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just like tree work. But man, I appreciate the more people I see come in to the position that you're at, you know, Hans at, you know, I'm at, and we need more of that. We just need more. We need people to step up and say, I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to be a leader in my company. I'm going to be a leader in my industry. I'm going to be better. I'm going to set an example. I'm going to live by the example, you know. And if we can get people committed like that and have the passion, have that dream, and have that calling, right? And then, and you know, the more people we can bring in, man, we will change this industry, but we can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Right? You just can't.
No, and I think at the end of the day, it's just about that, right? Like, making it happen.
Yeah.
Man, I'm thinking of like 1,000 things right now. I mean, that guys, listen, if you're listening to the show right now, and I don't know if you're listening, it might be 5 years down the road or whatever. Get on the Academy website, sign up for Erick's class, man. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be an event, and we're gonna be doing that once a month, man. We're gonna bring some special guests.
That
in,
is so awesome.
you know, and you're gonna be able to come in and sign up for a class, and
Dude.
you're gonna
I've
be
been
with
here
we're gonna be
before,
with
like,
Hans.
like this is what people don't understand, and I want to talk to everyone that's out there fucking listening right now. Like, I've been here and I've paid for a fucking class, but I didn't have to. I knew this shit this guy was teaching already.
You were
when I
paying for the
came.
class to try to pay back for the hats you took.
Actually, you gave me a discount that time. I think. Like, I was
gosh, I know.
I'm just gonna sit
He's
in.
like, I'm the
and,
observer. Next
yeah,
thing you know,
yeah.
You're on
I
the
painted
stage.
a
I'm like, how do you get a mic on him? He got some mic up here.
Hey, listen, that was half
I'm
of
like,
you.
oh no,
like,
that's Jared. I thought it was Erick.
But listen, like, honestly, like, all bullshit aside, like, this is what you have to do is support each other and
Exactly,
and
man.
come out here and learn. Like, listen, like, you don't fucking know everything. Like all these people out here, like,
Nobody
that think
knows,
that, like, oh, like, I've been doing tree work for so long. Like, I invest in my learning. I come out and I learn from guys like you. Like, dude, like, we sat in today. Like,
I'm learning from Hans.
You were,
know,
like, in
I'm
class today,
I'm
bro.
So listen. That's what these monthly special guests coming in. So
Good.
here's one thing I need from everybody that's listening to this. Send me a message, DM me, something, okay? I want to know, what do we call this class? Like, what is just an awesome, badass name
Right.
for the once a month? And we're going to create a calendar, too. It's going to be a 12-month
So
calendar. You're going to
awesome.
be the month of December.
yeah,
For that.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
So what do we call this class? You know, what do
Yeah,
we
let's get
call
some
it?
names out there.
Yeah,
like,
if
like,
anybody's
let's get
listening,
you guys thinking like, what can we call the class that, like,
we
you know?
we have 1,600 people listening right now on the show, so shoot us some names of what you think we should call the
subject
class.
matter expert class. You know, like
Yeah, something
whatever,
cool.
whatever
This
you
is
guys
gonna
got
be-
thinking or
yeah.
brewing. Like I
We'll have
think this is
12
awesome.
instructors, 12 trainers, 12 motivational speakers a year that's going to come in.
Hey,
and
It's
he's
gonna be
he's
called
gonna deny it.
Easy Cheesy
He's
Eric Peasy.
Wow, that was cheesy.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, he's gonna deny it, but like when you guys were getting all this going on like a while back, and I'm like, hey, can I be like a guest like trainer? And he's like, nah, we don't think we're doing that.
You know,
Are
the
you gonna
funny thing
admit
is,
that?
yeah, no, I will.
Ah, yeah,
I
like
will.
awesome.
Yeah.
And he was
Because
like, nah,
because you were like, listen, what you're teaching is not good. I'm going to come in and change
I
everything.
didn't say that. Don't be an ass.
That Jared, even though we look alike, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Let me teach you how to do this.
No,
No.
all I said
Actually,
was
I
like-
do remember that, and I was by the back of the bunkhouse there,
Oh,
and I was
fuck, you
hearing
remember
it.
where that
But you know what?
conversation was. That's way cool.
Because of what you said there, it inspired me
Dude.
just recently to be like, we need to do this, man. We do need to do this because
And you were like, and you,
But
you know
that's-
what's
that's
so
what
cool to
happens
me
when we-
that you were like, you know what, like we want to have you on.
Absolutely.
And I was like, ah,
this
like
is
I
how
was
we
so
grow
like thrilled,
as an
bro.
industry because the academy is not the academy. It's not our academy. It's the industries. It's us coming together to elevate the standard of the industry and make it better
Bro.
all around, man. It's all of us.
I loved you before, but I love you more now. Like,
Thank you.
Not as much as Jared and you guys in that picture that
Yeah.
you know. what's the name of the
I
thing,
know,
but-
we were like,
You guys will see it on the website
elbow
here
lock.
soon. So bear
Elbow
with me.
lock.
I know, man.
Bear with me. So listen, man. Let me just recap with you.
Yeah.
One again. Fucking thank you, man. Not just being on the
Dude.
show. Thank you for being the man in the industry. Social media, happy, inspirational. I mean, just pump up and pure joy out there. You know, I mean, you know just about everybody. If there's any questions I have about the industry or what's going on, you're the first person I call.
Good.
Right. I may tell people like it's what I hear, like, oh, let me tell you what's going on in the industry. But it all comes from you, man. What's out
I
there.
appreciate it. Thanks.
Hey, but like honestly, like nowadays, like, and you've been part of it, and your father has been part of it, Jared, and like all these people, and like I serve on the ANSI committee, right? And it's just like, I never thought a fucking kid from like the ghetto that was a fucking grommet could fucking end up on the ANSI committee, bro. Like, you know, like
That
like
is
Travis
cool.
Vickerson is a great friend of ours. You know, he's on there as well, and like he regards me as like he gives me so much work. Like I should probably pay him some money or something at some point. But he gives me so much work, and I'm like, why do you even like look at me like that? And he's like, 'cause you are, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, like now when I finally realize it, you know, and it's still hard to tell like my family or like, you know, the people that are in my circle that don't understand our industry, but I'm like, I'm part of the fucking industry, like of the committee. Like this is the committee.
I'm in deep.
Yeah, like you know, like I've traveled with Dr. Ball and like Tim Walsh, like across the country. Almost like a tour, like you know, when we did like the ANSI, you know, workshops and stuff like that. And it's like I still look at what I'm doing and I'm like, even I don't believe it, you know. And I think everybody should be striving for that. When people like say like this sucks in the industry or like this could be better, like, well, fucking go out there and change something about it. Don't fucking tell me.
Stop talking about it.
Well, yeah, tell me because I'm on the ANSI committee. But like, because we can bring it up on there, right? But like, go out there, right? Like, go to the meeting or get on the fucking online thing because now everything's like virtual, right? Like, don't bitch about it. Like, go out there and do something. It's like what your father did, what you have done, what Phil has done, what Hans, what Dave. You know, like everyone that's in industry is doing. So, like, that's what's up. You know?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You know, we're you know, we take from this industry so much. And I think if more people, you know, I guess my big takeaway, you know, and this is how I feel personally, man, we've taken from this industry so many years, so many years to be who we are,
Bro.
to be who we are. And, you know, we get lucky, we get blessed. We are where we are. We're here because for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Man, more people need to give back. If you
Absolutely.
take, you gotta give. You gotta give, and in whatever way you can, right? And that always come back tenfold.
Yeah.
It may not be overnight. It may be a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you're gonna grow doing it.
Yeah.
Right, but it's a sacrifice.
Can I
right?
add to that? You hit it hard, like, and this is what we need our viewers to understand. That, like, I'm sure people ask you, like they ask me, like they ask Phil, like they ask Hans, like, I want to do what you do. How can I do it? And this and that. And the first thing I tell people, this is the first thing I tell people, right? This is a test, right? It's like, what do I do? I'm like, volunteer, and they're like, no, I don't have time. I'm like, you're fucked. You're never gonna do what I do.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know how many fucking hours I volunteer? Like, ask my wife.
Yeah.
Right? Unfucking paid hours. Like no one paying you, no one telling you to do anything. Like, you out of the bottom of your fucking heart, out of you wanting to learn, out of you wanting to be the best one out there, to go out and be like, I'm gonna go fucking pick up trash at ITCC. Listen, I got one of my assignments, like we were talking about Mark Muskie, like big shout out to one of our other trainers, Mark Muskie. Like, he was the first one to fucking get me on ITCC to help out, like, in throw line, because my fucking function at ITCC, the first times I started volunteering, you know what it was? Pick up trash. And when I didn't go out there and fucking say, like, hey, I'm Eric, I shouldn't be picking up trash, like, why am I on the list as like maintenance, you know, like, I went out there and picked up fucking trash every day, and I did it with a fucking smile on my face, you know? And that's what you gotta do, man. Like, you gotta go out there. You gotta help set up the fucking work climb. You gotta go set up the aerial rescue. Like, we were just in Guadalajara, bro. We did an aerial rescue training where everybody out there in Mexico, you know, like no one pays us anything for that. My wife's like, you know what, you want to know how much you spend? I'm like, no, I do not want to know how much I spend going to Guadalajara.
She's like, it was a grapple truck payment.
Yeah.
It was a grapple truck payment. Maybe two.
Yeah, absolutely. Like coming out here, like we were red
What was that
flagged.
bar, senoritas?
Yeah, we were red flagged and told we were not gonna work all week, and then like yesterday they're like, hey, you're gonna work, and I'm like, I'm already up here, and like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's those things that you gotta
100%.
love, you gotta put in work, and like, don't ask what to do when we tell you what to do, and then you don't.
And
do
everybody devotes their time in different ways, right?
Yeah.
It's just getting involved, be a part of it, man. Get deep in it. You know, if this is your career, devote. I mean, get in there, dive in. Right? What's the worst that can happen?
Absolutely. Or go fucking flip burgers and do what you like. Or go find what you really like about, like, I've told people, like, people have been in our class, and I'm like, go fucking do what you like. Before we start this class, like, do you really want to be here? Oh, yeah. It's not like, go fucking do what you like. You like flipping burgers? It's okay. Just make sure you love that. Make sure you take care of. I've had some of the best fucking McDonald's servers there is in the world, bro.
Sounds kind of good right now, by the way.
It does. But, like, it's okay if you do that. Like, it does. It like, honestly, like, that's what people don't understand in life, right? Like, it like, someone told me, like, that guy's a waiter. Like, it don't fucking matter. If he loves that and he does great at it, do it, bro. Just like, don't fucking waste anybody's time. Like, don't waste my time. Especially don't waste your time, right? Like, don't waste your time. Like, if there's something that you like better than this, go do it, because there's no time like the now, you know?
100.
Oh man. I mean, we literally we're gonna have you back on. Man.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
this is gonna be
you know how it is.
2 and
So
3.
let
But
me-
let's get some. Let's get into some questions, man.
We will. Let me go through some of this, man. Absolute inspiration, like I was saying, just for the industry, giving back. You know, sometimes you need to be the janitor. Sometimes you need to be the guy cleaning toilets.
Absolutely, bro.
Right? And sometimes you need to be a Juan Flores
Absolutely.
to these people.
Yeah.
Getting into the industry, finding that manual, seeing the things that weren't given back to Juan Flores, risking his life every day, not having something to show for, you know, and going, that's what I want to do. I want to give back to the people. I want to change so other people like a Juan Flores that's out there can get something more.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I want to be the guy that helps kind of move that. Being a pioneer in our industry, having a dad that taught you values and values that you continue to keep sharing in our industry. From the first time you got up and you had a bird's eye view and actually got to hear peace and quiet, bro, and see what the birds see every single day.
You gotta enjoy the view, bro.
Right? Enjoy the
view.
To telling your clients, go fuck yourself. You don't want me. You don't want the best. Yeah. And I'm here to give you the best. So go find someone else that's mediocre.
Absolutely.
You know, all the way to where you continue that tradition with people that you're training in companies. You're not just coming in being monkey boy to do whatever they tell you to do because they're paying you. You're doing it. It's more than just the money. It's about giving back to the people, and the people that those companies are leading, that are requiring them, because in your mind always, and this is what I'm gathering, in your mind you always have Juan Flores is theirs, and I'm not going to let those other individuals that are being led by this company to be a Juan Flores in 20 years. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell that owner exactly what he needs to hear, because I don't want them to be Juan Flores in 30 years. They did not invest in that individual. And you're changing these companies, and you're changing individuals' lives. So from my bottom of my heart and Jared's and the industry, thank you,
dude.
Thank you.
That means the world to me. Like, honestly, like I know we're here or whatever, but like, you don't understand. Like, that's why people like us work for. Like, when I can sit here with my friends, with fucking Hans next to me, with Dave, with you guys here.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude, that means the world to me. Like you were saying, like, I'm sure I'll be a millionaire at some point. But like. That means the world to me right now. To get that from you guys, like, honestly, bro, like, it does.
So let me
awesome.
let me close out with you and the people, and I know you've given them so many nuggets, so many things that they're listening to right now, that they're just pulling on their heartstrings and questioning stuff in their life, and what are they going to do better tomorrow? Who are they going to give back? You know. Are they going to be a Juan Flores out there? But, you know, what other advice can you give the people before we close out?
Learn as much as you can. You got to be valuable in this industry. You got to be valuable in life. Like, what the fuck are you worth? Like, you know, like, go out and learn as much as you can. Like, go out and do the hands-on work. Like, after you do the hands-on work, do the book work. Or vice versa. I don't even care how you do it, right? Just, like, be as valuable as you can, you know, because people try to find like purpose in life, right? But what you gotta have is value in life. Like, what can you provide to this world? Like, people are always wanting to take from this world and wanting to like satisfy themselves, but you know, like you look at stories like on the Bible, right? Like someone like Jesus that gave, right? Like when someone gives like that, like, that's what we should be striving for. And again, like I was telling you, Jared, like, I don't know what everyone does, but like, I believe a little bit in God, and I try to be the best that I can so that I can add value to this world, so that I can help people get out of like shit. Like, you know, we've helped so many people get out of like fucking being meth addicts, you know, like, and giving them a job and stuff like that. And like, you got to believe in people, and you got to invest in people, and you got to invest in yourself, you know. It's like, so learn as much as you can, do as much as you can, try to be better in everything that you can be. And like, I don't know what else there is, you know.
Yeah,
you heard it from the man, guys. Erick Palacios.
Passion, man.
So guys, you know, again, the show, very inspirational, just being on the show and hearing people like yourself coming in. So, you know, if you're tuning in, you're listening, you want to be a guest on the show, go on our page, fill it out, post pictures, post videos, post anything you want about it, and we'll reach out to you, and we'll get you on the show to kind of share your story and share your inspiration and your knowledge to the people that are out there that have a sponge as a mind and want to take that in for that. And also, too, guys, we're just two simple tree guys that have a love for the industry, love simple times and good beer, and we appreciate everybody tuning in here. So stay tuned to next time, guys. Thank you.
Yep.
Cheers.
Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.